What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Weekly Chime. It's a fun one today because it's me, just me. Nobody else is here, so I get to have fun, which means that if you guys have any questions, you can ask them in the chat thing. But today we're talking text codes, which is one of my favorite topics ever. And so we're gonna go ahead and dive right in because we got like 30 minutes and I have a ton to talk about today. So like I said, today we're talking about text codes, right? Now, like I said, this is one of my favorite features in Chime. And today we're going to cover what they are, how they work, and how you can use them to really transform your business, right? So we're going to get into actually how to get into text codes, but let's like actually dive in here. Let me see if I can share. Let's see if I can share my screen. Let's see if this will work. Let me start by opening a new window. Sorry, I was telling Barry, I am never in the office anymore. So I am almost never actually having to do this. Here we go. Let's log in. That is not the account that I want today. But 1.1, by the way, when you get over 1,000 leads, they actually start 1,000 leads in a day. They actually start doing 1.1. Isn't that cute? But I'm going to log out of this because my wife will kill me if I start messing around with her stuff. So team. All right. So I'm going to log into a demo account here. I'm going to show you actually how to get into text codes. So here's the little airplane. You're going to click on that. You're going to scroll all the way down to text codes. And your screen will look pretty much like this because this is a demo account. And we're going to talk a little bit about what we do with these text codes and what text codes are. So a text code is essentially it's really a way to get a link to your website, right? And we're going to talk about how I use them here in a second. But for the most part, we get into the airplane, we get into the text code part of it. Let's talk about two reasons why you would use these, right? First, there's two types of marketing, proactive and reactive marketing. Real estate flyers are a really great example of reactive marketing, okay? You put like property information on them, you know, someone grabs a flyer, or in most cases, they grab like a handful of flyers. There's really no way for you to know who took the flyer or have a way to follow up with them. You actually have no idea if they're interested in the property or if they're just looking. Right? So that's reactive marketing. So text codes are an example of proactive marketing. Somebody drives by your listing, they're interested in it, they text the number for more information, and they're immediately followed up with, right? You have the Chime AI assistant, or you can respond yourself. You have their number, you have their contact information, you have a way to get in front of them. So, and like I said, now they're going to be texted by the AI bot, which is even better. And the AI bot is designed to try to get their name and other information about what they're looking for out of them, okay? And if they're serious about looking at the home, the bot is going to notify you that that lead is hot and they want to see the property. That's real estate automation 101. There's no wondering if people are looking at your flyers. There's no need to refill the flyers, which is a whole job in of itself. And most importantly, if you live in a windy area, like I used to, your flyers aren't going to end up in the neighbor's tree. So the best part out of this, though, is that you're going to get real phone numbers and you can show sellers how many people have been inquiring about their property through your signage. We as agents are always looking for ways to show our value to our clients. This is one great way to do that. So with that in mind, let's start talking about how you can use text codes to be proactive in your business. And so what I want to do here is I actually want to show you guys how to generate a text code. So you're going to go ahead and click add new in here. And as we look in here, how to use leads that send the text code to whatever your phone number is, insert your number here. This is a demo number, 201-509-4194. They're going to receive the auto reply message below, right? So if they text Brett1 to 201-509-4194, they're going to get a message from me. Hey, it's Brett. They would get that message. Okay. Now, here's the cool thing about this. If you have a listing that maybe you want to assign this to, like, I don't know, let's see if anything pulls up under 123. 123 South Barclay Street. Nah, let's go this. Ooh, Caribbean. I love the Caribbean. Okay. A couple of things happened. If let's say that 2820 West Caribbean was my listing. Okay. So if this was my listing, first of all, I would select yes up here in this corner. That's going to import it as a transaction for you. That's another way to add transactions into your transaction manager. This is a new feature. But let's use text code 1 assigned to this listing, and we are going to put in here, hey, thanks for reaching out about 2820 West Caribbean. And I swear I can type. Here is more information. Or actually, here, I'll just do this. Here are the details. Now, what am I doing here? I'm going to insert the listing URL right there. And guess what's going to happen now? If anybody texts Brett1 to 201-509-4194 right now, I mean, you can, but I'm going to delete it here in a second. They're going to get this message, and it will link them to all the listing details about that listing. You essentially now have a way to go put up a text code at your listing. So let's do this in a way that would make sense to you. Let's say that you have flyers right now on your property, but you want to start transitioning away from them. And I wish I had one here. I don't have one here in my office today. But what we used to do is have, or what we do now is have sign writers. And it'll say, for more information, text Brett1 to 201-509-4194. And that will give them all the information about that home. We hang that as a rider on our listings. And the reason we're doing that, one, we don't like doing flyers. And the way that I explain that to a seller is really, really simple, right? If we put flyers on their house, now all of a sudden we're going to be using reactive marketing. We don't know who took the flyers. The homeowner is now going to have to like stuff more flyers in the box every now and then. And more importantly, it doesn't have the most up-to-date information on the listing, right? The lead that is grabbing the flyer, those flyers could be totally out of date. Maybe you print 1,000 of them and then you do a price improvement. Well, now those 1,000 flyers are absolutely useless. But if it's a text for information text code, it's not useless anymore. Now it's evergreen. As long as that listing is on the market, guess what? Works like a charm. So that's why I use text codes, and that's what I've been doing. I mean, I don't think I've ever put a flyer on a property. I've always been using text codes, but it gets even cooler than this. Okay, so let me back out of here. I'm going to show you guys something else. So if you click on the little house, which is your listings, maybe you have a pocket listing, and you're like, haha, pocket listing. You're going to click on add a pocket listing. You're going to go through and obviously you're going to fill out all this information. Like, come on, all this information. I'm not going to do it right now because it would take too long. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you what it will pop up as. It'll actually show up in your listings and it will look just like all of these will, except that it won't say contingent. It'll say pocket. So what you do now is you will come in here and you would click on set text code. Click on that. Does it look familiar? Now you can put in here like pocket 1 or whatever you want to call this. I would call this Brett 2. Okay. I'm going to get to why I label them that way, and it'll all click here in a second. But the idea is we change this back down here to thanks for reaching out about 3735. Computer is going to, here are the details. Here are the details. You get the idea. Okay. Easy. So here's what's going to happen next. You're going to save this, and maybe you're going to want to send this to people, or maybe you're going to put up a coming soon. If your area allows coming soons, maybe you're going to put up a coming soon flyer or a coming soon sign on the property. If you do that, coming soon. For more information, text Brett2 to 201-509-4194 if your area allows that. If your area doesn't allow that, here's a really good idea. Send out a flyer. If you're allowed to send out flyers, or if you're allowed to send out postcards for coming soons, send out a postcard. Image of the front of the house, coming soon to market. For more information, text Brett2 to 201-509-4194. Super simple, right? That's how I use these things. Why? I see so many people put website information on their postcards. I want to ask you a question. How many times have you looked at something and gone, oh, that's a good idea? www.brettisagreatrealestateagent.com. Never, because we are a lazy generation. We want to be able to scan it, or we want to be able to text it. Those are the two things that we like to do. So either have a QR code on there that someone can just go, oh, and scan, or have it so if they can literally text like, oh, Brett to 201-509-4194. Very, very easy and a great way to use Chime. The reason that I absolutely love this is because it gives you real contact information. That's the number one reason that I'm using these. It's the number one reason I've always used these. It gives me real contact information and gives me a way to follow up with those leads. I'm trying to think. I have some notes here of stuff that I wanted to talk about. If anybody has any questions, go ahead and drop them in the chat here, or Barry, you can tell me if anybody has any questions. No? Okay, cool. I'm going to go into my technique on how I use these then, because that's the next step on this. Okay, here's my technique on this. I'm going to go back in here and I'm going to scroll down here to text codes, and I'm going to click on, oh, we have a Q&A. Boom, hit me. Yes, it should work. Okay, the question is, does it work even if we're using a different dialer? Yeah, as long as you have a virtual number through Chime, which you all should have. And if you don't know how to use that, go to I have an entire Chime training course. It's called Chime Bootcamp. It's on this. Go to chimesite.com and you can find my Chime Bootcamp. I cover all of this. But here's what we're going to do. We're going to set a text code as Brett1. We're going to save that. We're going to come in here and go Brett2, and we're going to save that. And you're going to be like, why are you doing all this, Brett? Simple. Here's what I do. I go into this text code manager and I pick a handful of short codes. Okay, Brett 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I promise I'll get to the questions, but I'll go through and whatever makes sense for your business. So maybe in my case, my wife's name is Aurora. So hers is always Aurora 1, Aurora 2, Aurora 3. Okay, and it assigns to her number. Whatever makes sense for your business. I will then go to my sign company and I will have them make me a whole bunch of text for information writers. Okay, Brett 1, Brett 2, Brett 3, Brett 4, however many listings you guys normally carry. For me, we're carrying 30 to 40 listings. So we have 30 to 40 signs made or text codes made. Whenever the sign company goes out and hangs a new text for information writer, all we're going to do is have them send us a picture of what text for information writer they hung. I'm going to come into here and I'm going to modify and I'm going to assign the listing to that text code. So I don't have to go out every single time and reprint a new text for information writer. It's being reused over and over and over, just like my signs are. So that's how I do it. So it would basically say in this case, let's say the sign company sent me a picture and on my new listing of 123 Main Street, they put text for information writer Brett 1. I would come in here and I would assign using a little pen. I would come in here and I would assign this to my listing that I have. And obviously I'd change the auto reply message to be, thanks for reaching out about 123 Main Street. Here are all the details. Okay. That's how I use this. Now there are follow-ups that you can do going forward. You can assign a smart plan going forward for anybody that came in that's tagged. This can create a tag for you. And so you can go forward and you can create a smart plan that's going to follow up with them. Like, hey, did you want more information on the property? Hey, did you want to go see the property? You can start texting them because guess what? You have their number that they came in texting with. Okay, whoa. Let's see what we have on here. Can you use this for the home valuation landing page? Yes. I will get to that here in a second. So the QR doesn't give you the contact info, but the text code will give you their contact info. Yeah. Okay. So Sheila asks, and Sheila, I will be covering this in group coaching too, but in way more detail. The QR code doesn't give you the contact information. That is correct, because a QR code, if you're using a QR code, it is going to drive them to a website. A text for information code, they have to text your number. So now you have their contact information, and then it's going to send them a message. That message will have a link that they now click that sends them to the page. Now, Bruce wants to know if you can use this with a home valuation landing page. And you bet you can. Now, here's how you do that. So what I would do in that situation is I would go and I would create a new code. I would title it value. I wouldn't assign a listing to it, but I would put in here, hey, thanks for reaching out to find out how much your home is worth. Find out how much your home is worth. Here is the tool. Let's say I'm doing on words here. I use for that. Then I would put a link to your home valuation. That's it. Super simple. So now you save that, and you can put that on postcards. You can put that anywhere you want. But now you're getting contact information when they find out how much their home is worth. And even if they don't fill everything out on the home valuation part, you can now build a smart plan around it. And that smart plan would be based on that person came in using text code value to be able to find out how much their home is worth. So now you can start sending them information about that. Does that make sense to everybody? This is, like I said, coolest feature in Chime, and it's something that's totally overlooked. And it's something that it's near and dear to my heart because it's got me a lot of freaking business. So we should text code everything. Sheila's like, should we text code everything? You know what, Sheila? I text code everything. It is the way of my life. And you should, because the thing is, we're now in a generation where people want to text, right? If you go to reach out to someone, if you were to get a hold of my phone number, guess what's going to happen? If you call me, you're going straight to voicemail. I have literally systems in place to send anybody that calls me that I don't recognize straight to voicemail. But if you were to text me, that comes through, and that actually gets through to me. And so I'm going to look at that and be like, oh, Sheila texted me. How's it going? We are now in a generation where texting is so much easier than calling. Prime example of that, I flew into work today. And while I was flying into work, I was texting Auberry, telling her that I was probably going to be a minute late. Here's the thing. I'm not on the phone with Auberry. It's so much easier for me to be like, hey, I'm running a few minutes late, send. And I can do other things. We're in a generation where texting is easier. So I highly, highly, highly cannot repeat highly enough. Think you should take advantage of this. You should go out, you should create a text code that matches your business, right? So Bruce is in Hawaii. No texting while flying. Bruce Baker is in Hawaii. Okay. So you could do something cool. Like you could do like Aloha One, right? Because that's super cute. Because what is your target market? Your target market is, I mean, you probably get a mix of people that are buying on the island and people that are like me that want a vacation there. We live in the snow and want to go there. So you can create Aloha One, and then Aloha Two, Aloha Three, Aloha Four, Aloha Five. Now you go through and you have your text for information writer made, and you can go take that and now hang that below your signs. Super, super, super simple. Auberry is in Seattle, or well, Washington area. You could do something like, it's always raining. No, I'm kidding. You just do Rainy One or Rainy Two or Seahawks One or Russell Wilson One. That's a Denver joke. But that's what I would do with text codes. And that's what I do with text codes. Anybody else have any questions before I move on. Auberry, any questions from you? I was hoping she would like unmute this and have like this dissertation, but she's not. Okay, well, I covered more than I thought I would. I thought I'd have a little interaction with Tristan on this one to like banter back and forth. Auberry's not going to banter back and forth with me on this one, so that's all good. That's all I have for you guys today. Thank you for being here. Thanks for another episode of the Weekly Chime. And we will see you guys next week, same time, same place.